They weren't supposed to be here. They weren't supposed to win. And they definitely weren't supposed to do it again. But the Indiana Pacers just proved to the world, again, that they don't care about your expectations. They don't care about what Vegas says, what analysts predict, or what the history books scream at them. Because when it matters most, when the lights are the brightest and the clock is bleeding dry, this team becomes something different, something dangerous, something historic. The Indiana Pacers did it again, and what happened this time might be even more shocking than Game 1, Game 2 of the NBA Finals, tipped off with one major question hanging over everyone's heads. Could the Indiana Pacers actually do it again? Was Game 1 a fluke, a once-in-a-lifetime comeback, or was it the beginning of something we're not ready to admit yet? That maybe, just maybe, this Pacers team is that team. A team that doesn't just belong in the finals, but one that's quietly turning into the most dangerous playoff squad we've seen in years. And for 3 quarters, it looked like the Thunder had finally snapped out of it. That humiliating Game 1 collapse clearly lit a fire under them. From the opening tip, OKC came out swinging, suffocating the Pacers with relentless perimeter defense, flying through screens, disrupting passing lanes, and doing everything they didn't do when it mattered most 2 nights ago. Gilgeous-Alexander looked like an MVP on a mission. His mid-range was automatic, his drives were crisp, and his decision-making was elite. At one point, he scored or assisted on 13 straight Thunder points and had the Pacers completely on their heels. Mark Daigneault wasn't messing around this time either. Instead of rolling out small ball lineups that left the paint unprotected like in Game 1, he made sure Chet Holmgren anchored the defense at all times. And guess what? It was working. Indiana's fast-paced offense suddenly looked stuck in quicksand. The transition buckets disappeared. Tyrese Haliburton couldn't find his rhythm. Aaron Nesmith and Obi Toppin missed wide-open looks. And Pascal Siakam, he had more fouls than points halfway through the third. The crowd in OKC was electric, smelling blood in the water. With just over 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, the Thunder held a 14-point lead. It looked over, done, wrapped. They had weathered the storm, reasserted their dominance, and were on their way to tying the series, and then it happened. Again, you'd think by now teams would stop underestimating Indiana. You'd think by now coaches would stop relaxing with 6 or 7 minutes left on the clock just because they've got a double-digit lead. But they don't, and once again, the Indiana Pacers made them pay for it. It started as it always seems. 2 with 1 possession. Not a flashy one, not a highlight. Just a hard-nosed, grinded-out defensive stop that led to a fast-break layup for T.J. McConnell, the guy who plays like it's 1997 in a league filled with unicorns and three-point snipers. But it worked. The momentum shifted. You could feel it. Then came a dagger 3 from Benedict Mathurin off a broken play. Then a monster block from Siakam that ignited the entire Pacers bench. And suddenly, the Thunder looked scared, panicked. Like they were watching the same movie they lived through just 2 nights ago, and they couldn't stop it from happening again. Tyrese Haliburton, who had been quiet all night, woke up at exactly the right moment. He didn't need to drop 30. He just needed to control the pace. And once again, he did it with the calm confidence of a player who's rewriting the narrative around him, one clutch possession at a time. Haliburton finished with just 16 points, but 8 of those came in the final 4 minutes, including another go-ahead 3 that sent the OKC crowd into stunned silence. And let's talk about that final sequence, because it might just define this entire series. Tied game, 12 seconds left, Thunder ball. And once again, it's Gilgeous-Alexander with the game in his hands. But standing in front of him, Andrew Nembhard, the same guy who cooked him in Game 1, and this time, he strips him clean. No foul, just pure anticipation and ice-cold nerves. The ball pops loose, Siakam dives for it, calls timeout, 2.1 seconds. Remaining out of the timeout, everyone in the building knows who's getting the ball. Haliburton, no fakes, no misdirection, just a simple inbound to the top of the arc, catch, step back, fire, bang. Tyrese Haliburton does it again. The Indiana Pacers do it again. They steal Game 2 on the road, walk off that court like it's just another Tuesday, and suddenly lead the series 2-0 heading back to Indiana. This isn't luck. This isn't a fluke. This is real. And the basketball world better start paying attention, because something special is happening right in front of our eyes. Let's talk about what this really means, not just for the Indiana Pacers, but for the entire landscape of this year's NBA Finals. Because after what we just witnessed in back-to-back games, it's no longer just a feel-good story. The Pacers aren't sneaking past anyone anymore. They've stormed into the finals, snatched home court advantage, and shoved the pressure right into OKC's face. And the scariest part, they're doing it by being the exact same team they've been all season. They're not suddenly playing perfect basketball. They're not getting insane 50-point performances or blowing teams out of the gym. They're just staying within reach every single time and then landing that knockout punch when their opponent lets their guard down. Think about it. Indiana trailed for 43 of the 48 minutes in Game 2, just like Game 1, and yet somehow they walk away with a win again. They're like the horror movie villain you think is down for good, but then that music starts creeping in and suddenly they're back up. Not just alive, but terrifying. Let's dig into some numbers here. Tyrese Haliburton now has 4 go-ahead shots in the final 10 seconds of games during this postseason. That's more than Damian Lillard has ever had in a single playoff run. That's more than Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, and even Kobe Bryant ever hit in one postseason. Only LeBron has more since the league began tracking play-by-play data in 1997. Let that sink in for a moment. We're witnessing the birth of one of the most clutch postseason players in NBA history in real time. And he's doing it with a smile on his face, chewing on his mouth guard, making it look easy. But let's not ignore the others who've been absolutely crucial to this Indiana run. Andrew Nembhard, who was a bench piece at the start of the year, is now out playing the